This is something new. This is something we haven't done in here before. So I'm super grateful that it is my friend Brittany who's come in here today to throw down her wisdom and help us out with this relationship stuff. I've shared a lot of my fuck girl stories and what I've learned from them, but let's get some actual professional help, okay? Not just me and my stories. We know I have lived. We know I have lived. So let's get down to business here. I really want to open up this space for Brittany to come through and be of service, right? One of the reasons why I dig Brittany, trusted her to come through and give you her best, is because we share a common mission of just being of service, okay? We're out here just trying to make sure we're all thriving. We're all doing our best, whatever that looks like, right? So I'm gonna open it up to Brittany. She can tell us a little bit about who she is, what she's got going on, whatever she wants to share, and then we'll get into these amazing questions that you guys have thrown down. I'm gonna go back to tagging some of y'all while I tag Brittany in here.
Perfect. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you so much, you guys, for allowing me to be a part of this. Thank you, Miriam, for hosting this special conversation because, I mean, let's be real, like relationships are pretty much every part of the human experience, and it would be nice to figure out how to do them well. And coming from my own history and my own background, being in relationships that were healthy were so foreign. So I'm a child of a narcissistic parent and a codependent parent, and I just grew up in a very toxic, dysfunctional family system. And as I got older, I realized just like how dysfunctional that family was, especially when I was going through my journey of becoming a therapist. So my primary career started off as a marriage and family therapist. I worked in the industry for about 8 years, treating couples, individuals, families, kiddos, all specifically around trauma, addiction, and just like family dysfunction. And because I was working in the industry, of course, I got mirrored back everything that I had been going through myself. And I was like, oh, well, damn, I got some stuff I need to work on, because my relationship.
You realized you weren't perfect?
Oh, it was the craziest thing. I had no idea I wasn't perfect. And so therein line my journey to becoming the healthier version of myself and kind of start really, walking the walk that I was helping people go down myself because my relationships weren't healthy. I dated a lot of, are we allowed to cuss in here?
All the things.
Okay, good. I dated a lot of fuckboys. I dated a lot of fuckboys, a lot of narcissists, a lot of addicts. I mean, just like not very good people. And I sabotaged a lot of relationships as well because I was not my healthiest self and I didn't feel like I deserved a healthy partnership. So, once I really began that journey of self-love and worthiness and deservingness is when things started to all fall into place. And then I, attracted and called into my life my magnificent fiance, who we're getting married very soon. I'm very excited. And I know.
Can you just show us that ring again? Can you just let us know? Oh, so she's done some things.
I've done some things. And it's like the most brilliant, unexpected, just delicious relationship I've ever been in because there is open communication. We know we're not perfect. We accept each other for exactly who we are, but we're willing to be in this damn thing together and grow together, right? Which is something I definitely didn't have before. So, as I started to move into the space of coaching, because my mission became bigger than my office was too small. I was working in Denver, Colorado, and only was allowed to work in the state of Colorado. And I was like, I don't want to just do that anymore. I want to work in a bigger way. So then I started my company, Get It Out Coaching. And I have a Facebook community called the Toxic Relationship Cleaner. Some of you are coming from there. If you want to join us, go ahead. And actually, it's a Toxic Relationship Transformation. I just changed the name recently. I don't even know what the name of my group is, y'all. And then, and herein lies my mission to serve women predominantly, men as well, just help healing their hearts and finding worthiness and abundance within themselves so that they can start to actually attract the relationships that they deserve. And boy, oh my gosh, I think what is so cool about the transformation is like when you finally find that relationship that you didn't even know existed for you, you're like, damn, I've been missing out on this whole time. What? And you'll never go back again. So that's my mission, is to make you go, damn.
Girl, the second I go, damn, he better run too, because I might stab him for making me wait so long, okay? I understand some of that.
I love you, but I hate you. Yeah.
Some of that's me. I understand that, you know, it's not all him. Some of that's me having to do some work. So if y'all are ready, let me know in the comments if you're ready to get to these questions, if we're ready to spill some tea. Give me some ready in the comments, or give me some emojis, show some love, throw up some hearts, whatever it is. But I have got our list of questions that you guys threw down last week. We're going to get to as many as we can. I know that Brittany has some beautiful takeaways for you guys, and I really hope that you guys do your part in all of this, applying what we learned today, right? That's the real magic, because she can be here spilling this tea, but we got to take this tea and go out there and put it to work, right? So I see a let's do it. So I think we're ready. Let's get right into things. Katrina said ready. Okay. So one of the first questions I'm going to dive into is, what are areas of opportunity versus red flags in relationships? I have been someone who has fallen in love with red flags. I love me some mess. So let's talk about this. Opportunities versus red flags in relationships. Thank you, ladies. Katrina and Veronica, Yvonne is in here letting us know they're ready.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so opportunities versus red flags. So I feel like if you're blending opportunities and red flags, it's because it's a very muddy topic, right? Something that doesn't feel very clear. So for me, red flags are the following, and this is for most toxic, dysfunctional relationships. If a relationship starts too fast, like you're going from a 0 to 1,000, all of a sudden you want to, this is my, like, I'm going to get married to this person. Like, oh my God, they're so incredible. It's like a whirlwind kind of romance. You know, I mean, how many of us subscribe to those fairy tales, fantasy books? You know, nothing like a little 50 Shades of Grey. Like, who doesn't want that? I guess, you know, kind of. But I'm not trying to sign a contract in order to be in a relationship with somebody. So when we see these things happen where it's like a whirlwind sort of romance, we want to be cautious. I do believe that sometimes we can I do believe that some people do fall in love in this very beautiful, quick way, but that's not all of us. And if you're used to unhealthy dynamics in relationships, the truth is that you're probably trying to fill a void. And that's the reason why this whirlwind feels so good. So that's a huge red flag. And I would say that it's not an opportunity, even though it feels like it could be, right? It's a good thing. Another thing is if your person that you're dating is like talking too much about themselves and is not asking you questions. Like, isn't the whole point of getting to know somebody to actually get to know you? So if you feel like the conversation is one-sided, that's a red flag. If you feel like someone is hiding parts of their life, so sometimes we just don't even know. Maybe you find out a few weeks in that, oh, your partner actually has children and they never told you, or your person has children and they never told you. Like, that wasn't something that came up in the first like couple dates. And if that's the case, I mean, honestly, you should lead with the fact that open and honesty, right? When you're dating, especially, I mean, at our age, I feel like when you're in your late 20s and 30s, like, people have kids and that's normal. And it's okay if you're on the same page and you're willing and wanting and desiring that life, but be upfront about it. Like, I have kids. Are you cool with that, right? So like basic expectations. If you're finding out anything else, if like some secret gets leaked a little later and they're like, oh, I was afraid of what you were going to think, to me, that's a red flag, right? So you want to start off your relationship with an honest conversation.
Can I just throw something in there?
Yeah, for sure.
Something that comes up a lot is we know, we may know what we don't want in another person, but I think it's also important to know how we don't want to show up in that situation. What behaviors are being triggered from the other side of things, right? So it's like great knowing, okay, like this is my boundary, right? This is what they can't do this, but what aren't you willing to do? Yeah. And are they pushing you into those behaviors?
Totally. That's so huge. When somebody is, if somebody is like So boundaries, okay, so I would say the opportunity, right,
Mhm.
is being clear and communicating those boundaries
Yeah.
from the very beginning. And it doesn't have to be in some aggressive way, but just like, and communicating it with your actions, not necessarily with your words. So
Mhm.
someone is moving too fast and trying to kiss you on the first date and you're not ready for that, or trying to touch you in some physical way and you're not ready for that. Just as soon as it happens, just like, oh no, thank you. Like, I'm not ready for that. Like, that's okay. Not going back to someone's house because you feel like you have to, you know? Just like you said, sometimes we get in these situations where we kind of talk ourselves into something that we think is normal, especially during this sex culture that we live in now, where Tinder and the dating apps are just like, ooh, swipe and, you know, get laid. That's not necessarily how you have to use it. I met my fiance on Tinder. I know several people who are married to their husbands and wives from a dating app, like several. And it's because like they chose to go in it with like healthy boundaries. So a lot of times we have to check ourselves about like, okay, why am I dating in the first place? What is
Yeah.
the purpose of me going? What is the intention behind me actually going and seeking out a relationship right now?
Yeah.
Am I just getting out of something and I'm trying to fill a void? Am I, you know, struggling with feeling lonely? Like if you're in like a sad place, you don't want to start dating. Like that's not going to be healthy. So I would say that that would be an opportunity for you to start working on yourself, an opportunity for you to start healing. Because when you find your own healing on this journey, you will start to attract someone who is also healing on their journey.
Yeah. I love that. Absolutely love that. Siobhan, I know you have a question here about a little dating and COVID, and we're going to get to that a little later. I just want to acknowledge you there, lady. How's that speaking to you guys as far as owning what you're willing to deal with in relationships, and also recognizing when these things that we aren't willing to deal with pop up? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, on everything that we've thrown down. But let's dive into this next question while you guys throw that in the chat. Why do people put up with narcissists in relationships? So maybe we're seeing the red flags. We're seeing the signs that this probably shouldn't be for me.
Yeah.
Why do we then ignore it and then put up with the narcissist?
Yeah. So when that happens, it's the fear of whatever it is that we're afraid of, you know, whether it be being alone or being abandoned or not being good enough, like whatever that fear is, not finding another partner again, because a lot of us fear that like there's not another person if this person leaves. So we avoid facing the very truth of our relationship because we're so afraid.
Yeah.
Versus if we were actually more in tune with loving ourselves and knowing what we deserve and what we are worthy of, and not tolerating, right? So setting those boundaries and not tolerating, then we would probably lose that relationship, rightfully so, and then we'd actually be in a place and a position to call into our life something else. But most of the time, we definitely, you know, we don't feel worthy enough. I remember, oh my gosh. So here's a little personal story. Yeah, so I dated this guy and I was during grad school. So there's a lot of shame. Well, I worked through it, but there was a lot of shame in dating this person because I was in the middle of my education about what a healthy relationship looked like, and yet I was not in one. Yeah. And this guy, like everybody told me he was scum. Like my friends repeatedly told me that he was like hitting on them or like being inappropriate and all these things. I just refused to see it. Mm-hmm. And the reason was because I didn't want to be lonely. I thought he was like the hottest guy I would ever get. Like I didn't think I was really deserving. And but maybe, you know, he's going through a hard time. Maybe, you know, maybe this is just a temporary behavior. No, like somebody who is respectful and kind is actually going to treat you with respect and kindness. And so in this relationship, because it was so toxic, I just kind of lost myself. You know, I didn't feel like I was deserving of something healthy. So finally, after, you know, working through that and being like, okay, he's not really good for me. And sometimes I would even be honest, like sometimes in the beginning, I just had to say the prayer, like, God, remove this person from my life because I can't do it myself. And because I was acknowledging source, right? I was acknowledging a power beyond me. that relationship was removed from my life like that.
Yeah.
I have countless times where that's happened. I don't know about you. Has that happened to you?
So Miriam has like walls of steel, okay? So you've got to get through the walls for us to even get there. Well, once you've gotten through all of my walls and I've actually received you into my world, it's so hard for me to then let go and move on. I'm always holding out hope, even in places where my loyalty hasn't even been earned. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my tea as far as putting myself in situations where my full worth isn't even honored.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it might take a while for us to get there, but once we're there, we're a mess. And it's so much to what you're saying, because then I stay because we're now tied into the loneliness and the worth and, what else is there? And in the midst of that, like darkness and the storms, it is this thought that like there will be nothing else.
Right.
So at least for me, that's what's kept me in relationships longer than I was supposed to. This fear of there's not going to be anything else.
Yeah. And that brings to mind something else, like the investment, right? So we invest a lot in these people. We show up for them, we support them. I mean, I know so many women who've supported their man through so many different things and vice versa, and so like when you put that much investment into someone, the last thing you want to do is like give up on your own investment.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot of shame that's tied to that too. So relationships, having these conversations in general are so shameful, which is why I'm so happy that we get to have a space like this where we can talk about it and you guys can be a little bit anonymous, or whatever, because talking about relationships and the struggles that we have, which we all fucking have, all of us.
We all have them. Look, seriously. And, different degrees, right? And so like, and it's each of us that gives the story of it, its weight and its power. And it's until we share out with others that we see, oh, that bag was a little heavier than it needed to be. Let me let go a little bit because I see it's possible, right? Because that's what it's always been for me or why I always have hope for that next relationship, right? Once I've gotten out of my way, that's always Miriam's thing. Once Miriam gets out of her own way, then things can happen. Then the people are removed from my life. But what helps me in those moments is recognizing and honoring the healthy relationships that do exist in my world, even if they aren't mine. They don't have to be mine, right? But seeing that it's possible. Right? And for a long time before I was healed, there was many layers of jealousy. I didn't see other people winning as the universe saying, hey, Miriam, this is possible in your way. I saw the people winning as well, damn, why does not just stab me in the back a little bit more. Okay. Right? Just letting me know that these dynamics do exist, can happen, and can happen for me.
So I think that's so great. I heard I follow this one like manifestation coach, and she was talking about how when we get triggered with jealousy, it's actually the universe showing us what's possible for us. And when you're talking about, mentorship and finding somebody who has a relationship that you desire, like I started first with like the show This Is Us. Okay, there were no healthy relationships in my life, in my waking life, that I really desired to mimic. And so I started with the relationships that felt the most authentic on TV, which is obviously it's on TV, so I knew there'd be some differences. But This Is Us, and they had a couple great relationships that I really was like, yes, that is the relationship that I want. Yes, that is the relationship that I want. So sometimes we just need to create a little space for our mirror neurons to find something to attach to, so that it can prove to our system that this is possible for us. This is actually not even that hard.
So I'd love to cut in real quick, and let's use this as a moment. Throw in the comments if you have any relationships in your world that inspire you, that give you hope, that let you know what's possible. And it could be from TV, a book, real people in your lives. But let's give some power to this moment and throw that in the chat. Acknowledge that. Because like Brittany said, we're getting our brains comfortable with that idea. okay? We're letting ourselves know that it's out there, it's possible for me, okay? Here's an example. Here's why I know it's possible for me, because I see these people over here, they're throwing it down, and there's no reason why I can't throw down like that too, right?
Yeah.
Or throw down in your own way, your own way.
Yeah.
What I want, girl. Maybe a few other of you would want, but not a lot.
Well, that was the thing. Like I love my friends, and some of them have really beautiful relationships for themselves, but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted. And so some dynamics that were really important to me was like laughing every day, just like really having, because I'm a very goofy person, so somebody has to be goofy with me.
Yes.
Which I met my equal. He's fucking goofy. But it's great, because that's just our dynamic, and that's why it works.
Yes, yes. And you knew that that's what you wanted. You wanted a space where you could laugh and be goofy and that energy be multiplied, right? That was an important awareness to have, because then you could show up to your dates. Right. And be like, oh, this is that energy. Let's explore this more.
Yes, exactly. And if the energy wasn't there, I'd be like, oh, I don't need to explore this at all.
Yeah. This was fun, but no thanks.
Yeah, exactly. And that was like what I think changed the game for me, was the way that I showed up. I had such clear intentions about what I was looking for, that the energy that I held, it was just like playful. I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to meet someone new. This worked out great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. I know whatever God has in store for me is going to be bigger and better than anything I've ever been in before. So I trust the process, and I'm just going to take inspired action, right?
Yes. I love this because Veronica has said her siblings, Sherlyn has said her closest friends, they have the relationships that really inspire her. And I love what you just said there, because I recently had to take a similar approach where someone left the picture, and I was like, well, you know what? I can't be praying and putting these intentions that only things that are meant for me enter and stay my life. I can't have that be my prayer and then get upset when things leave.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't be upset for getting exactly what I asked for.
Yeah.
If we're out here in these streets being clear and intentional about only attracting what serves us, don't get mad when that shit leaves. That's how you know that wasn't for me. I asked for this to be gone. Yeah. Right? 100%. And when these things leave, we create more space for the things that do serve us, that do belong there, okay? So I know we can get really stuck and hurt in our endings or things, falling apart, but let that shit.
Yeah, that's so good. That is so good, because I know I've said that prayer, and I'm telling you, God will remove that stuff from me so fast. And I've cried many times, like, I know that this wasn't for me, but I just appreciate you, and the quicker that you can acknowledge that, the quicker the lessons evolve and grow, and then you're not then you're starting to attract the right types of people. So celebrate the no, so that you can find your yes. Yeah. So looking for one or maybe two people, right, in our lives. It's not like we're looking for a relationship, well, I don't know what you're looking for. We can talk about that too.
So I'm going to throw down this next question, but why don't y'all throw down in the chat, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? Okay. And when I keep looking over here, I'm looking at the comments on my iPad. So y'all have my full attention. But let's get into this third question if you guys are ready. Brittany, you feel ready to dive into something new?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so let's get a little sexy here. I know one of the questions asked, it wasn't really a question, they just gave us topics. I'm going to let you run wild with this, right? Okay. But they said bisexuality in marriage, monogamy versus, I know these all don't go together, but you just go crazy. Polyamory, open marriages, threesomes.
Yeah. So the theme of this question to me is, how do I create a relationship that is authentic to who I am, right? And that is basically the crux of it. We have the ability to create a relationship on our own terms. My relationship with Miriam is between me and Miriam, not y'all. My relationship with Eric is between me and Eric, not y'all, not my parents, nobody else. The problem is that we're so used to involving so many different types of people and asking and waiting for permission, that we are, maybe not authentically aligning with the relationships and the style and the type of relationship that we want. Obviously there are spiritual components. It's important for you to honor all different aspects of who you are. So, your value system, your morals. Don't get involved in somebody who wants a polyamorous lifestyle if you want monogamy. That doesn't really make very much sense. You don't want to try to, it's okay if you want to try it out, but the moment you realize that something's not for you, that's okay for you to go back the other way. Like, we are fluid human beings. We are allowed to kind of co-create with God, and then with things in our reality. And I find that whenever you're going to do this with a person, like another partner, and have these conversations about what your desires are and how you want to move through, these are just conversations, right? And it's important to have them with your partner. And if you can have them more early on, because I know for me, if all of a sudden, Eric came to me and he was like, actually, I think I want a polyamorous, marriage or something. I'd be like, oh, well, that's not really what I thought I was signing up for. So I guess I have to release you now, kind of thing. It would be very
I love that. I release you.
I release you. Like, it would be so painful, at the time, but I would know that if we were no longer aligned on the same wavelength, and that's not what I was looking for, I would have to uphold my own boundaries. So hopefully that makes sense. Like, I feel like some people, in fact, there's a podcast I might be on here in the next few weeks, and this couple is going to interview me, and they're in an open marriage. And I have a few friends who want to live a non-monogamous lifestyle. And it is, I would say it's semi-normalizing now. And threesomes, people have them all the time. It's just about having a conversation with your partner that is safe. Yeah. Safety is so key. So it's safe to explore. So we'll kind of talk about like fetishes and fantasies. Those are beautiful to have in a relationship, and you should have them in this very safe way. One of the ways that I would tell some of my couples when I was doing couples counseling, and when I do couples coaching, is like, put all your fantasies in a bowl, tell your partner, and like set parameters around it. So like, our fantasies don't include other people. It's just, us two exploring each other. Put them all in the bowl, and then just pull one at a time, and just kind of like explore what that looks like. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Well, I'm gonna because I was just showing up with everybody else's questions, but I'm gonna throw in my own question then that you just sparked for me, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of what I'm getting from you right now is just the power of being clear about what we want, right? And feeling comfortable to share that, and then being comfortable with the other person having whatever response they have. And right, and that's how we're really creating that bond. Right? Yeah. So my question then is what do you find seems to be the hang up or the hardest part when it comes to people just opening up and sharing? Like, why are we not communicating? I feel like we have all these tools and avenues to communicate, but we run from that very thing. That would strengthen and help things go to that next level that I think everybody wants. I feel like we've just become very superficial and surface layer in communications.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the core of poor communication is shame. Okay. Right? When we share what we really are thinking, we share what we really feel, we've been probably knocked down, dismissed, told that it's not right, told it's not valid, coming from unhealthy family systems all the way through your dysfunctional relationships. So when you don't feel like it is actually safe for you to express yourself, and maybe you don't have a lot of examples with which you can, so good girlfriends or good, just good people that you can share with, then it is very hard to express yourself in your relationship. And so, yeah, we all want vulnerability, but vulnerability means that we have to put ourselves out there, and we could possibly, like you said, whatever they respond, it's like we're releasing control.
Yeah, a little less ego, a little bit more soul, a little bit more.
Yeah. And it's hard to do that. So it's something that you want to practice. And I would just start slow with smaller little things before you jump into, hey honey, I want to have a threesome.
Yeah. That's kind of been my tactic. I'm just gonna go for let me just go for it. And then I come across a little too aggressive, but it's like, I just need to get this out.
Yeah.
Say the thing. So.
But see, I think if you were to set it up with that first, like, I just need to get this out. I'm open to whatever you have to say, but I just have to share.
Yeah, and I don't preface.
Yeah. That saves you a lot of hassle, because then your person has the right to tell you, like, no, this is not a good time. So now you're respecting their mental ability to be present for you. And then also you're also giving them the ability to kind of like mentally prepare for this difficult conversation.
But I think also at the same time, like, because for me, it's always like, I'm just like nervous to say the thing. What are you going to say? What is your response going to be? I'm already stuck in your response before it's even happened, right?
Yeah.
So I see the preface here, letting that be known, then spilling my tea. Then I can see what kind of good person or asshole they are from there, right?
Yeah.
If you're I'm tripping, and so you're gonna be a jerk, then that's me releasing you. Okay.
Yeah.
For our next question. How y'all doing? Let me know in the comments. How are you guys doing, right? So we've talked about reasons we would put up with a narcissist. We've talked about opportunities versus red flags. You've said, hey, look, if you're into threesomes, monogamy, polyamory, bisexuality, just be open and honest about it, right? Give people that chance to meet you where you are, right?
Yeah. One thing I would add to that is that it's okay for you to change your mind too. You know, I think we get so caught up that like, in fact, I think I saw Yvonne, she was like, she said something about, well, telling our families that like we left a relationship, or telling our families that we want to have this different type of relationship, and the shame that kind of goes around that. Like, you're allowed to change your mind, y'all. It's your life. You get to live it the way that you want, as long as you're honoring yourself, your community, you're respecting people. Like, if you want to have a polyamorous lifestyle for a little bit, and you decide that actually that's not for me. I mean, I went vegan for a little bit, and then I realized actually I like, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's so powerful, and I'm glad you just tied it into veganism, because it's true. We have the power to decide that something's a yes or a no at any moment.
Yeah.
At any moment. You can try something on, maybe even let the person know, hey, I'm interested in this. Maybe we could try this on, come back and see how we feel about it as a unit.
Yes. Perfect. Look at you. He's just around the corner. I can feel him.
So you didn't expect that. So
no, I didn't.
Question, girl. This ain't about me. So you know what, Siobhan, if you're still here, because I know that you've thrown a couple of questions in the chat, and I think this next question might be relevant for you. So let me know if you're still here. But I know that we had a few questions about dating in the time of Corona. Okay. And I think something that's interesting right now with this dating in Corona is the idea that we're all to some extent on lockdown. Travel is prohibited. We have, these apps that expose us to the whole world, people everywhere. We aren't limited to just what's right here, right? So how do we navigate dating in Corona, the distance, and just what are your tips as far as dating right now? What's up? Siobhan, yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Oh, good. Yeah, so actually, like, to me, this is like the perfect time to date.
Right.
Kind of like what I talked about before, where one of the red flags is like this whirlwind romance and maybe someone not asking you a lot of questions. Well, if the only thing that you have, the only tool is a FaceTime, because you're protecting yourself before you go meet somebody in person, then you have this brilliant opportunity to actually communicate with somebody and get to know them without all the pressure of having to like reject them in person, because that feels like really bad, or feel like you're being rejected in person. So it just takes a little bit of the pressure and stress off of dating in real life. So that's like my first thing. And I would just suggest, truly, at this point in the game, for any of us, if we're meeting somebody like not in person for the first time, do a little simple coffee date over Zoom. Corona or no Corona. Like, I think that that's super important. I know so many people who have met really awesome partners and are thriving in their relationships right now from dating someone on Corona. Like, one of my best girlfriends, she like the first date that they had, because she's like super into fitness, was they were running on opposite sides of the street up the hill. And so like that was their first date, and like their second date was like a cute little picnic. So there are people who are succeeding in this effort right now. As far as some tips. So okay, so if you're going to date, tips in person. So tips, okay, so first tip in general is like, realize that your person exists if you exist. And it's especially if you're like, you know, been working on yourself and you're healthy and all these things, because that would be the first step, is to make sure you are working on your own limiting beliefs about relationships, making sure that you are working on yourself during this time of coronavirus. I think it is a perfect time for you to do that healing, that inner child work, anything that says that you are undeserving or unworthy, or that only, you know, unhealthy, dysfunctional relationships are the only things that feel good.
Right. I want to throw in getting yourself to that place of trusting that it's coming.
Yeah, 100%. Because it is. Once you're ready and you like unlock that part of yourself, it's coming. It's coming for you. It's waiting for you. So once you do that, then now it's like, okay, how do I take inspired action? So inspired action could mean you get that nudge to go to the park and go for a walk, right? And then you cross paths with somebody. So just being open to any possibility showing up for you, because I know people who were hit on with their masks on. I know people who actually connected with people with their masks on, you know, that didn't.
I'm glad you're saying that, as far as being aware of the limitations you yourself are creating.
Yes.
I think a lot of we can create limitations around time, because I know Siobhan mentioned a time span that this person in the scenario had been speaking to someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can create our own limitations because we think it has to happen like this, like that, blah, blah, blah. But if we're in that space of taking care of ourselves and healing, time, what is time?
Yeah, exactly.
It's coming in its own way.
But I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I do have a theory about that as well.
Get on Tinder, Valerie.
I love Tinder. It's great. You know what happens. With the right mindset, though. Don't go on there. Anyway, so with time, if you're talking to someone for a long period of time and there's no movement towards actually meeting in person or like doing a one-on-one call, to me, that's a waste of energy. If you're intentional about looking for a relationship and somebody just wants to get their emotional needs met by you, well, then it's time to move on from that. So to me, pre-COVID, I would say meeting up with somebody within like a week was like my time frame. That gave them a week to pick a date or plan a date. As a woman dating a man, so in a heterosexual relationship for me, I believed that I dropped my hanky, like to let them know that I was interested. And then I let the man do all the work, set up the date and plan it. To me, that's a balance of the divine masculine and feminine energy in order to come into the relationship with more balance and more intention about what I was looking for. So I just believe that it's important to, you know, like, don't wait too long. If you've been talking to someone for months, that's far too long. Online.
In this situation, she says they met online in May.
Oh.
And by August, she already lost her patience. So she's like, do I move on or do I stay?
Yeah, honey, you should have moved on at second week in May.
So my whole thing is, if you've lost patience, why stick around? Because then you're just brewing up some resentment. Right? Exactly.
Another tip I would say is so we said trusting yourself when you're ready, being open to the possibilities, being clear about what your intentions are and setting those boundaries, and then having fun, like showing up and having as much fun as possible, knowing that if it's not this person, it'll be somebody else. So that was one of the prayers I would also say, is that if this doesn't, before I would meet up with somebody on a date, because I did a lot of online dating, not during COVID, but I did do a lot of online dating. And I think intention setting is so beautiful because you actually end up getting what you intended. And so I would pray, like, no matter what, I just pray that this time with this person is healthy and leaves me feeling more confident than not. And that we both have a really good time. And so every single time that would come true. And then on top of that, if the relationship wasn't exactly what I was looking for, I felt like they were drifting or, you know, or whatever, I would just tell myself, look, if it's not this relationship, it's going to be even better than I can imagine. What God has coming for me is even better. So those little things that I did for my self-care, so that I wasn't so caught up in the rejection, because the truth of the matter is there's like a plethora of human beings on this planet. If you are looking for a person, they're also looking for you simultaneously, and they're also in the same frequency as you. It's just a matter of like turning on the radio.
I love that. That's a beautiful reminder, just being aware of what am I putting out? What is that radio signal that I'm putting out there, right?
Yeah.
I know, like, a lot of people here have, some kind of unhealthy past relationship, some level to the game, right? There's something going on there. And if we aren't used to seeing those kind of healthy dynamics, it's easy to fall into well, I'll just give it a little bit more time. I'll give it more time. I'll give it more time.
Yeah.
And sometimes that just never happens.
Right.
But if we're stuck in that, staying in that place of, well, what do I need to feel loved? What do I need to feel supported? What do I need to be in that place in my magical radio frequency?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where we give too much power over to what's not going right in this relationship.
Right. Exactly. Because if you're on a different dial, so say you're in this dial of not expecting things to happen, or believing that you're not good enough for a relationship, or believing that it's hard to find somebody, right, who's good. Yeah. Well, the moment that you turn on the radio, the people with that same frequency are going to find you. Yeah. And then they'll confirm all of the beliefs that you believe about people not being good enough. The good ones are all taken. You're not deserving of a healthy relationship. That's just because you're on the wrong dial. You're on the wrong frequency. Yeah. So if you turn your dial to like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm confident as hell. Do you see me? Yes, my person, I believe there's a lid for every pot. And I found my lid, and he's weird, just like I am. It's perfect.
Yeah. And you have to show up in that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Excuses for the other person, not dimming your own light to make them shine more, like you more. It was just all your own good.
Yeah.
And I like that good. I'm a big fan of this good. We gonna multiply this good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was ease because I got to be myself.
Yeah.
And so those are some things that you can practice even now during COVID, and be respectful of your boundaries, right? So if you want to wear a mask and be 6 feet away from each other, do that. I've had people have picnics that were 6 feet apart, but they were outside, so that made them feel more safe. Or I've had people who have actually gotten COVID tests before they actually went on these dates. People are posting their COVID results on their Tinder profile, you know what I mean? So there's all of these ways to do it in a way that feels like it is holding yourself with integrity.
Yeah. And to what you said earlier, there's opportunities right now to get to know somebody through these apps in a deeper way. Mm-hmm. Create more of a connection and a bond, really get to know somebody deeper than we would if we could just meet them right away in person, right? Yeah. Knowing that you got this time and space, and okay, so really what are your interests? And finding ways to I feel like we can get more creative right now in how we meet and how we bond. And if it ain't right, we have that release, like you said. I have a friend of a friend who used to say bless and release.
Yeah. God bless you. Bye-bye. I love what you said about creativity, because I think that COVID is asking us to be more creative. Yeah. Right? We've had to be more creative in all aspects of our life. Why would we not be more creative in our dating world, right? And in our dating life, in our relationship life. So if you're in a relationship too, this is a call to action as well. How can you give yourself more space from your relationship, from your partner? If you guys have been struggling right now, how can you guys come together in a more intimate way? How can you guys be more playful? How can you really, start to use this time to cultivate the relationship that you desire, because it is outside of influence of anybody else, because we can't be around anybody else, Yeah. COVID is inspiring us, I think.
Yes. Absolutely. I think there's been tons of gifts of Rona, and it's up to us to really open our eyes to them, open our eyes to what's available. So if you guys are ready, let me know. Let's dive into another one of these questions. I'm looking here. I think this one is kind of relevant to where we've been right now. So why do men waste time? I almost wanted to say people, because look, I know I waste some fucking time. Okay, I'm not going to put this on men, but I know that your fuck girl Miriam, is out here wasting men's time because she can be very bored sometimes, okay? So why do men waste time? We know why Miriam will waste time. When they aren't ready, why do they think they can put a pin in the relationship and expect us to wait?
So our lives are determined by the quality of questions that we ask. And so I would say, I'm just going to say it like it is. That question is the bad question. It's not a good one. The true question is why are you allowing him to waste time? If your time is valuable, if your time is precious, if you know what you want and your intentions are focused, you're not going to tolerate some dude just putting a pin in the relationship and waiting for him to come back around. Because, honey, you are Cleopatra. You have all of the beautiful men who are just waiting to kill themselves and each other for you. Right. And when you really step into that feminine goddess sort of energy, knowing fully that you are completely desired, no matter if you feel like it's true right now, once you step into that energy, you're completely desired and desirable. You're not going to wait for Caesar's friend Brutus to get his act together before you start dating Caesar. Okay.
Look, my nerdy blood going. Talk to me right now. You're giving me Julius Caesar, you're giving me Cleopatra. Okay, I'm ready to freak out. But I love what you're saying, and I hope you ladies are picking this up. I see Veronica threw down the exactly, but I love this idea of, if you're catching yourself asking, why do men waste time? Realize that the flip side of that question is why am I giving this man power to waste my time? Woo. I'm just a fuck girl out here in these streets, okay?
Just saying 100%.
Okay, so look, I know that some of my fuck girl ways come from this place of control, right? I know that's a big thing for me here, right? But I'm saying in this instance, you have an opportunity to control in a way that's healthy, right? Realizing that you are part of this equation. He's not just wasting your time. You're allowing that energetic frequency to be there by how you're responding and showing up. Mm-hmm. He can only waste your time as much as you allow.
There we go.
If he thinks he's wasting time, it's not mine, honey.
Right.
No, because I left you on red 2 months ago.
Tell him how it is, girl. Tell him how it is. But it's so true. Like, we ask ourselves the wrong questions, and our subconscious wants to answer them. So if you ask, why is he wasting my time? Yeah. You're going to come up with all of these excuses as to why he blah, 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 right? But it's not about him. It's about you. It's always been about you. This is your relationship life. This is your love story. We are just inviting people into it. And sometimes we invite the wrong people, and sometimes we invite the people who are on our same frequency, and then we grow together. So ask yourself better questions.
Yeah, ask yourself better questions. And I also want to put this out there. Find the people you trust. Find the people you trust, because they will see things that you don't, especially if these are your heart-centered people, your tribe, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about the friend who always has something to complain about, okay? I'm talking about the person who hits you up and asks, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. How are you doing? Are you okay? Those are the people that we're going to go to and just ask them, hey, this is what I'm in the middle of. This is what my brain is telling me, but maybe that's not what's up, right? Mm-hmm. And if you don't have those people, find that support in your world, right? Hire a Brittany, whatever it may be, but get that support, because we stay in relationships longer than we need to because of shame. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna spill my own tea. I have stayed longer than I've had to because of shame. Okay? Shame, unworthiness, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, right? And because I never opened up or shared everything that I was dealing with on my own, it kept me there longer than it needed to, right? So that's why I really want to harp on finding your safe spaces and sharing, because there's going to be someone out there who's going to see your greatness more than you. Yeah. And that's what you need to hear in that moment, to come back to that place where it's like, I am this bad supreme bitch.
Nice.
Who deserves these men leaving their gifts at my altar and pining over me, okay?
Yes, 100%, honey. And what was so important about this conversation, and Miriam and I have had this talk before, where we have our friends and they're like our cheerleaders, but I mean, I don't know about you, but I didn't really listen to my friends as far as how they saw my relationship. And so it's important to find maybe another support system outside of them, have them, because they are so valuable, and maybe another support system outside of them that you're actually going to listen to. Yeah. Right? I didn't listen to my mom. I didn't listen to my best friends who were like, he's doing all these things, whatever. The only time I started to listen is when I actually started to heal the parts of myself that were allowing this behavior. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say investing in yourself, making that choice to invest in yourself, your own self-worth, your own self-love, whoa, what a game changer. Because now you're actually going to listen.
Yeah. You're putting your foot down as a priority for yourself.
Yes, yes.
Right. Because a lot of time in my coaching with clients, I always tell my clients to write shit down. I don't care. Be mad. Write that shit down. Let me see a picture of it. Because there's something about that act of making it concrete, writing it down, having that moment where your mind, body, and soul are all in line with one action.
And having you as an accountability partner to actually check up on that work that you asked them to do. Like that's like a whole game changer, because now you don't want to disappoint, you know, yourself or the person that you're helping, you know, support you, or who's helping support you on this journey. You know, and it is a lot. It's very shameful to tell our friends too, right? So, you know, telling our friends like, yeah, this didn't work out for me again. Yeah, you were right. Yeah, you saw it the whole time. Like that doesn't feel good to go back to our people and do that again and again. And so sometimes, so we can avoid, not even avoid the vulnerability, but sometimes we won't even share so we can avoid the shame.
Yeah.
Right? Like you were saying, and now you're stuck in something so long because you don't even want to tell your friends because you're so filled with shame about it. Yeah. So if you can't trust your tribe to hold space for you in a way that makes you feel good, even if they are doing their job and you just don't feel good about it because you're like, oh, I failed again, I fucked up again, then that's when you want to hire somebody outside of your tribe, somebody completely impartial to see and help you have an observed perspective on your situation. You'll listen to them more.
Absolutely.
Sit back.
I love all of that. I love it because I have found there's a correlation between shitty relationships and the outside relationships in our world, right? So if we can find that common balance in all things, we can definitely feel it when something isn't right now, right? Katrina threw up another question as far as what if you're someone who doesn't allow people to take up your time, but you keep attracting people who want to do that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. So what I would say about this one is that there's parts of you that are emotionally unavailable and rigid. Yeah. So because you were so like,
she fucked me up with this a few months back. She already put me through this one, so you're not alone.
Yeah. So, but it's true. So like, if you are feeling like you just don't want to waste any of your time and like, fuck this, fuck that, like no one respects me the way that I should be respected. And you just kind of have this, it's almost like a false sense of pride because it's more coming from a place of fear, versus a place of love. You know, being vulnerable with somebody and then also still respecting yourself. It's like, that's love, right? Being vulnerable with somebody and in the moment that they like, you know, turn on your vulnerability and you're like completely shut down and walled off and you're like, fuck this. Well, that's coming from fear. And so when you're coming from a fearful place of you're attracting other people in that space. So I would say a lot of maybe just turn the dial down on like, I ain't got time for nobody kind of vibes and be like, I'm actually open to receiving all types of people. And I know that I can trust myself to shut that down if it's not what's in alignment with me. There's an ease with which by saying that, right? Versus I'm so tired of all these fuckboys. Yeah. Well, you're tired of all those fuckboys and you keep thinking about the fuckboys, they're going to show up.
You fucked me up with this because because I definitely am someone who just doesn't want to waste my time. I'm not wasting my time on your issues. I will show up with my issues, let you know what they are. I'm comfortable with them. You be comfortable with your shit. So for me, I'm like, no. I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't want to deal with your BS and you not knowing what you want. So by me being in that vibe, that's that energy that that's the level I'm constantly on. I'm constantly sending out, don't come to me with this fuck shit. And so if that's the frequency, the beacon that I'm throwing out constantly, who do you think's coming through? Because they're like, oh shit, fuck shit, I'm ready, he's ready. I'm already anticipating it.
Yes.
Already anticipating it and prepping for the run. From the fuck you, I'm out, right?
Yeah, to validate what you believe.
To validate what I've been believing. Because I've been believing nothing but fuck shit is going to come around here to annoy me, right? But if I sit here in this place of being like, okay, I know there are other men out there who know exactly what they want.
Ooh. Feel the vibration of that. I can feel it.
I know.
My heart chakra is just opening up to you, girl. What? Tell me some more.
I know that there's a man ready for all of this and then some, and who will give me space and give me space, but also call me every day.
Yes.
So like,
yes, he exists.
But knowing, and I think that's kind of what you've kept coming back to, is the clarity, wearing your clarity, your desires, what you're after on your sleeve.
Yeah.
Focused in that place so it can come.
Yeah, and saying no to anything else, right? The moment we say no means that we're getting on the path to our yes.
Yeah.
So that's like the whole part of it. The universe is going to test you and ask you, like, are you sure you're ready for this? Are you really ready for a healthy person? Or are you going to keep taking that fuck shit that we keep bringing you, you know? And if you keep taking the fuck shit, then the universe will be like, okay, so you aren't ready. Yeah. Because think about it this way. If you are ready for a healed person and you yourself are still looking for, you know, a way to self-sabotage or looking to have your false insecure beliefs validated, then the healthy person that comes your way ain't gonna tolerate that, because now you're the fuck shit. Yeah. Right? Your insecurities in line. What?
I said I'm always the fuck shit, but I'm not. No,
you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I just enjoy fuck girl shit, and that's my problem. I just enjoy some mess, but I'm growing as a person.
There you go. And we all are growing. It's okay, right? And we just accept this stuff until we're ready to not accept it anymore. Yeah. And the moment you're ready not to accept it, you'll feel, you know, you'll move on to the next phase.
Exactly.
And then you'll be coming to me about, like, how do I keep this man, or all the insecurities inside your relationship, because shit, that stuff happens too.
So let me throw this down, because we've been on here for an hour now. I think you guys are getting some nuggets you can apply. I know I saw Valerie said she loves this advice. I know Veronica's been out here throwing down, saying she's receiving. Let me know how this is all hitting for you guys. As we close things up, though, I know you had some takeaways. Is there anything else that you really want to share? I'll let you run this through.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I wanted to give you guys some takeaways for both finding a relationship, and then for if you're in a relationship, how to keep it healthy. So for finding a relationship, we talked about this, healing yourself. Investing in yourself is the greatest gift you can ever give to you, and it has the hugest return in the entire existence of the world. Because I mean, Miriam's done it, I've done it, like, we all are out here doing the thing. We can't do this alone. We're not in a vacuum. And I don't know, I like having somebody who's already been through the thing that I can look up to, who can actually, like, hold my hand and walk me through it too. So investing in yourself and your own healing is so important, however you choose to do that. Another thing is trusting that your person actually exists and is waiting for you. Because when you have that trusting energy, you don't have to put up walls. You're like, oh, you're not it. That's cool. Oh, you're not it. That's cool. I'm getting closer. It's fine. And every single time you go out on a new date or whatever, you feel the energy of you getting closer to that thing. And just trusting that that person, that lid to your pot, that lift that you desire, is out there. Last thing is, for finding a healthy relationship, is taking inspired action. So if you're stuck in your house hoping that this person's just going to show up at your front door, I mean, God can do whatever he wants, but at the same time, he likes us to take a little action. And so taking inspired action, whatever little nudges, so going for a walk in the park randomly, or making a Tinder profile, or, you know, you can do something else, Hinge. You know, there's so many different dating apps out there. So taking that inspired action and then allowing yourself to kind of go with the flow of how that plays out. And I'll be honest, like, it's you know, it's not the easiest thing to do, right? These are simple tasks, but they're not easy. So just understand that it might take a little time, and honor yourself in that. Trust whatever you desire. And then if you want a healthy relationship, so first thing is, like, making sure that you and your partner are creating the relationship that you want on your own terms, versus what everybody else is saying that your relationship should look like, you know, or what society says your relationship should look like. It doesn't have to be about anybody else but you guys. I believe that you need 3 things to have a healthy relationship: commitment, trust, and respect. So commitment, we all know about it, communication, trust, and respect. So communication is important in order to express ourselves and to feel, to me, it's to get those insecurities that you may have out and allowing you and your partner to sort through them together. So those are about your insecurities. Trust is about building the insecurities that you may have in your partner and allowing those to be released. Respect, I mean, I've communicated well and trusted a partner, but I didn't respect him. So my divine feminine was not showing up in that relationship at all. We need respect in order to honor each other as we grow together in this relationship and honor the commitment that we made to each other. So that's really important. And then lastly, have as much fun as you possibly can, because being in partnership should feel like your best friend that you want to fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she said that. She
Mm-hmm.
said that. And I think you said something important there with the fun piece, right? Because I think our desire to be in a relationship will have us sacrificing fun just to have a relationship.
Totally.
Right? If that shit ain't fun, if I'm not having a good time from the giddy up, if I find myself in impatience and frustration, I know that either I'm not having that fun or I'm not speaking up.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right? And so just being aware of that and making sure that we're not sacrificing our fun and joy just for the sake of a partnership.
Yeah, totally. And your fun and joy could be different from my goofy fun and joy. It could be like, we love to organize boxes together. Like, that's cool. We love to work out together. That's awesome. You know, like, you could be serious.
What's though?
You know? Because it's so not me, I guess. And so it had to be somebody else just then. Thanks for calling me out, boo. But it's true. Your fun can be completely different. And again, that's why you're creating a relationship on your own terms and whatever that looks like and feels like for you.
Yeah. I love that. I love you for sharing all of that. Real quick before I tie things off, I did share in the chat that I do want to do a quick little centering exercise before we hop off. I meant to do it in the beginning, but your girl got frazzled, so here we are now. But I just want to thank you, Brittany, for throwing down. I know we've got at least 10 people still here in the chat, so I hope you guys got what you needed, feel inspired. I'd love to see in the chat if you could share what just got your wheels turning, what got you thinking, or maybe even something that you're ready to commit to start doing as you're out here on your dating journeys, right? God, it's a journey. It's a journey. I really hope that you can go out now showing up in your truth a little bit more, of not being so afraid to shine your light or have those vulnerable conversations. I think one thing I really got from you, Brittany, today was, you know, when we do these things, when we communicate with clarity, we allow what we really truly deserve to flow in and be present for us. Right? When we don't do that, when we don't honor what it is we want and place these people above us, that's when we start slipping and sliding and shit gets rough.
I mean, if you think about it, you typically get what you asked for. You just didn't realize, right? Like, that you weren't asking with enough clarity. Like, I've gotten every guy that I asked for, and I was like, oh shit, I better add some things to my list.
I need to be a little clearer here. How can I have all these things without the frustration?
Exactly. For the addiction, like, oh, I didn't put that on my list, or
all right. I love this. I love that he is here. We're on the same frequency, that I don't have to settle. Yes. Fine. Okay, girl. Girl. Yes, we never have to settle. I love this. Valerie said, decide the tone of how I want my relationship to feel. I love that. Yes. Look, if we are being cognizant, intentional, energetic beings, our clarity is what brings everything to us. Okay? And being unapologetic about these things. Yes, I want a goofy dude who gives me tons of space. But is also obsessed with me.
He exists.
And he exists. And I know he exists because that desire is there.
100%.
From like that from here. It's not something I'm overthinking and trying to put into perfect boxes. It's just that knowing. And I firmly believe that in every aspect of our life. If we have a deep knowing, it's meant for us. It's because we're supposed to go towards that deep knowing. Okay? All right.
The universe, God doesn't...
Do you have any other tea you want to spill real quick?
Oh, I was just going to say the universe or God doesn't I don't think puts desires in our hearts that doesn't want to fulfill. So
Exactly. Amen to all of that. So ladies, why don't you take some deep breaths for me? Let's take 3 deep breaths. Let's get centered real quick. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable. You can keep them open, whatever you want. But I want to speak a little life into you as we go out into our dating relationship worlds, right? You are amazing just the way you are. No matter what anybody has said, has used against you, fires that have been blown out of proportion, you are worthy. You are amazing. And your person knows that. They need nothing other than to see you and experience your light and energy to know that you are worthy of their love. You show up, you be yourself, you shine that light, you give them the full extent of who you are, and allow people to see you, to receive that, to receive your energy, all right? Go out into the world trusting and knowing that your every desire wants you back. And in you showing up and you believing in your every desire is what allows it to flow to you. You are the light. Shine it, all right? Let's take a few more deep breaths in. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose and then out through our mouth. Let all that old stank energy, those old beliefs flow away. Breathe in this empowering energy of love, light, possibility, and breathe out every limiting thought that has kept you from the love you deserve, okay? Let's take in one more deep breath in, knowing, trusting, believing that everything meant for us is right here, right now, waiting for you to open your eyes to it. Exhale and let go of any limiting thought, belief that has kept you small, and let's start to shine. All right, guys, you guys can open your eyes. Let me know how you're feeling. And I want to know that we're going out into this world and doing our best, okay? I'm going to do my best to let go of my fuck girl ways. I'm doing good, okay? I'm going to allow that amazing man to come in and get on this ride, okay?
One day at a time, girl. You've got it.
Right? All right, ladies, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really appreciate all of you have been so engaging in the comments. Siobhan, Valerie, Yvonne, all of you have been out here. Veronica, if you're still here, Katrina, I appreciate you guys so much. If you're catching the replay, please share your thoughts, okay? I definitely meant to talk to y'all more, but my bad. I tried, okay? I do my best. But I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Miriam. I just appreciate you so much. And yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. And I will be coming back to some of these comments. So if there's more you want to share, do the damn thing. Okay. Love you guys.
Yeah. Bye.